Roseville Mall had been the heart of the town for decades. A sprawling complex of shops, diners, and theaters, it buzzed with activity from morning till night. But after closing hours, when the last employee left, it was said the mall had a life of its own. One evening, a group of teenagers, Jake, Lisa, Maria, and Chris, decided to sneak into the mall after midnight. They had heard the tales, mannequins that moved, echoes of children's laughter in the toy store, and the old carousel mysteriously starting up on its own. They entered the mall, armed with flashlights and a spirit of adventure. The echo of their footsteps on the marble floors was the only sound as they wandered through the dark, empty corridors. But as the minutes ticked by, the atmosphere changed. The temperature dropped and the stillness became stifling. Curious, they entered a boutique. The mannequins, bathed in the pale light of Jake's flashlight, looked eerily lifelike. Lisa, trying to lighten the mood, repositioned one of the mannequins. As they left the store, Maria swore she saw the mannequin's fingers twitch. Next, they ventured to the old toy store. As they browsed the rows of ancient dolls and tin soldiers, a soft giggle pierced the silence. The group froze. Another giggle followed, this time from the other end of the store. The toys, previously static, now seemed to be positioned differently, as if they had moved on their own. The most chilling moment, however, was when they reached the central atrium. The carousel, aged and covered in dust, began to turn. Its haunting carnival music played, echoing throughout the mall. Horses moved up and down, their painted eyes staring blankly ahead. But one horse was different. It bore the fresh, terrified face of a young boy. His eyes pleaded for release, yet his mouth was sealed, unable to scream. Panicking, the group decided to leave. The mall had other plans. Doors wouldn't budge, and corridors seemed to twist and turn, leading them back to the carousel again and again. Exhausted and terrified, they finally found an exit. The next day, a janitor opening the mall made a curious discovery. In the boutique, a new mannequin stood next to the window, wearing Lisa's jacket. At the toy store, a doll that looked strikingly like Jake sat on the top shelf. And at the end of the carousel, two new faces had joined the trapped boy, Maria and Chris. The mall continued its daily buzz of activity. The townsfolk never forgot the legend of the mall after midnight, where some said the building itself hungered for souls.